Today we're going to make perfect roast potatoes. Now I know you're all probably sitting there thinking what's different to normal roast potatoes and perfect roast potatoes, so that's what I'm going to show you. Now I've already peeled a couple of Agria potatoes, they really are my preferred potato when I'm roasting and mashing. I love their floury texture. They're just a great winter potato. So I'll just get these peeled. Okay, so very normal way of doing it so far. We're just going to roughly chop them into a saucepan. Do with another half chop, they'll cook a bit quicker. Oh, one disappeared, I'll get that later. Okay, half that one again as well. Okay, so fairly uniform size. Now all I'm going to do is fill that up with some cold water. And a sprinkle of salt into that. And while I use sea salt when I'm doing flavourings for food and I want the texture and I add it in at the end, when I'm cooking I do always use iodised salt. In New Zealand we do have a shortage of iodine, a lack of iodine, and it's really great to get that into your vegetable cooking water. Okay, now onto the stove. Basically we're just going to put that onto a good high heat. Let them come to the boil, and then I'm going to boil them for 4 minutes, not a minute more, not a minute less. Once they're at the boil, so keep an eye on them. We're going to let them cook for 4 minutes, and then I'll show you what to do next. Right, the potatoes have had 4 minutes boiling, so it's time to get them off the pan, or off the heat, should I say. So let's just quickly get these off. Now, what is the next step, really important, to drain them exceptionally well. So I'm going to tip them into a colander there. I'm also going to return the pan to the element that I've already turned it off, but I want the element to be completely dry. I don't want any steam, don't want any moisture, don't want anything. And anything, how's that? And I'm going to shake these in here because I absolutely want to let them get as dry as possible. So let's just wait for that steam to lift off. The pan to be completely dry, can still be hot but completely dry, but I don't want excess moisture, none at all. So let's just give them, maybe a minute. Now the thing is that while this may seem like a little bit of faffing around, you can actually get it started the day before. So boil your potatoes for the 4 minutes the day before, drain them really well, pop them into the fridge and just leave them, and then roast them the next day. And that way it all happens a lot quicker, less time in the kitchen, which is ideally what everyone looks for. Okay, let me bring the pan back. Okay, so that is completely, actually no it's not, there's a little tiny drip of moisture in there, but that will go. That's dry. Our potatoes are looking dry, and what I'm going to do is pop the potatoes back into the pan. And over them, I am going to sprinkle just a little bit of flour, maybe about a tablespoon or so. Then, and it's always going to be at the other end of the bench, I'm going to snack down here and I'm going to grab the saucepan lid, pop that on. How hot is that? No, not too hot. So what I'm going to do is give these maybe 2 or 3 good shakes. So 1, 2, 3. Let's have a look at those. I'm going to give them a couple more. And basically, the shaking with this, it roughs up the edge of the potato. So then you get a good, as you can see on those, see, they're very hot, so I'm holding them carefully. But see the edges get all scuffed and roughed, and that's going to make for really good crispy potatoes. And do you know, because of just the way they're sitting, I might actually just even give them a couple more shakes. You don't want to overshake because you're going to end up getting something that is broken into pieces, which we don't want, but just a few good shakes with that. Now the oven's already heated to 200 degrees. In there I have a pan with some oil in it. I'm going to get that out. Now this is going to be hot and you have to be really careful. But I've just got a small roasting pan in there with hot oil. So I'm going to sit that like so. I'm then going to lift my potatoes out, and once again really carefully just put them into the hot oil. And as you can see, they've got lovely, they're all, well, lovely. They're all roughed up. I was going to say lovely roughed up potatoes. I'm not sure if it's lovely, but they are all roughed up. And that will be great for going into the oil and help them to get that crisp that we always want on potatoes. There's nothing worse than a mushy or soggy roast potato. Now, if you want to be highly decadent, highly luxurious, duck fat or goose fat makes amazing roast potatoes. I'm assuming that most people don't have access to that, but if you do, for goodness sake, try it. Not probably good for your arteries, but really lovely for the taste buds.
Great for Christmas.
Yeah, beautiful for Christmas. Okay, these now are going back into the oven. We're going to leave them for about half an hour. We're going to turn them halfway through cooking. Once they get golden and crisp, they're going to be ready and we'll have our lovely roast potatoes. Right, the potatoes have had about half an hour in the oven, so let's have a look. They are looking good. Look at that, beautiful and golden. And you can see where they've been roughed up. They've got those gorgeous golden patches. The flour on there as well helps. So we'll lift them out from the oil into a dish. They're beautiful and crisp. Now what I do with them is a good sprinkle of sea salt, a good grind of pepper, and if you like, so perhaps some finely chopped rosemary. The other thing is too that if you want to put rosemary in while you're baking them, rosemary and potatoes is beautiful together. And then all you need is the roast chicken or roast lamb or something else delicious to have with them. Perfect roast potatoes.